Getting ready. Oh, we going in. Whoop, whoop. Almost. Are we there?
Yes, I think we are.
I think we're there.
I think we're there.
Hello,
Hello, everybody. YouTube, Facebook.
Woo!
We are live this afternoon, this evening.
This evening.
With the Millers.
Millers.
Joining us for Marriage Monday.
Yes.
Give us a minute. We want to go ahead and share it to our own pages and invite people to join us.
You guys know what we do. We are here. Yep. That's the pastor fixing his stuff, you all. It is Marriage Monday. And
we have the awesome.
And I'm excited about another Marriage Monday. So for those of you who don't know about Marriage Monday, what we do on Marriage Monday is we come together. We pick a couple every week, a different couple. Sometimes we have part ones and part twos. And we just discuss marriage. We talk about the basics of marriage, and we discuss things like how long have you been married, your ideas of marriage, because each marriage is different and each marriage has something that it can share with somebody else. So it's the idea of it is for us to not feel like we're alone when we're doing marriage. There's somebody that's been through what you've been through.
Yep.
Like my cousin says, period.
This week we are also streaming live on YouTube. So
yes.
welcome our YouTube viewers with us. If you know someone who can possibly benefit from this Marriage Monday, you can find us on YouTube on the Sound the Bells channel.
Yep.
Sound the Bells, you can find us there and go ahead and share it. So without further ado, want to welcome Kim and Conzie Miller.
Thank you. Hello.
So the first question that we want to have for you, how long you been married and how did you meet?
Okay. So I'll answer how long we've been married because it's kind of complicated.
Okay.
So this is actually our second time being married.
Okay.
So the first time we were married was for 7 years. We were divorced for 5 and remarried in 2017, and here we are. So probably about a total of 10 years.
Total of 10 years. I had the information on the flyer wrong, so if you saw the flyer, it's 10 years.
That's right. She needs all of her years, okay?
And she's sold.
Thank you. I work for those.
Every one of her years. It's important. But something else is important though. How long have you guys been together? This is good. This is a good one.
So
yeah.
I first met Kim September 1996.
Right. He has
the month and the year.
Yeah.
Conzie, what was she wearing?
What she had on?
He knows.
She had polka dot pants on with a cream vest and a white shirt up under.
Conzie, come on. It's Conzie or Mike.
Then
right there.
we started going together December 18, 1996. It snowed and I bought a pair of J's that day.
Wow.
You
Look
know
how
what?
she's looking like, oh.
You know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it.
September of 1996.
Wait a minute.
Pants.
What was I wearing when you first met me? What was I wearing?
You was at church like this.
That's a good one, Leon.
Yeah. She prayed for it.
What was I wearing? What was I wearing for Jesus? What was
a dark colored shirt?
That's
it was a dress. It was at church. It was a dress.
it was a okay.
So 1996, you saw her polka dot pants and said, "Okay, I'm gonna holler at her." Yeah. Again, dating in December when it was snowing.
Yeah.
And how long did you out date before you decided to get married the first time?
7 years.
Oh, 777.
1996.
That's it. That's the number. That's it right there. That's it. 777.
So what made you say, okay, I want to marry her after 7 years of dating?
Mm-hmm.
What made you say? I want to
well, it's important.
We always had a good friendship, so it was like our friendship created the relationship because we was friends first. Cause like we met at Shaw. She left Shaw and went to Davidson. Then I get a job at McDonald's, and she's already working at McDonald's. So it was like we could, even without trying to cross each other's paths, we was crossing each other's paths the whole time. And then we just built a friendship working at McDonald's. And then it turned into a relationship. But we always had communicate, and we always could be there for each other. So it just felt right to go on and marry my best friend, you know.
That was good.
So you decided to marry your best friend.
Yeah, because
because my wife and I, we started out as friends. Like, Conzie, let me tell you how good a friend she was to me. Like, we talked about so much stuff as friends that I would not have dared told somebody I was gonna marry.
right.
Who was that kind of friend?
Right.
We would sit up all night and just talk about stuff. We were really so our marriage, like the two of you, were kind of based on our friendship.
He told me everything, y'all. He told all the business.
Everything, like all the skeletons in the club.
All the tea, everything. Yes, he did. I was like, oh, okay, no judgment.
Look, and Conzie, she's still married.
Sure did.
Yeah.
She still married me.
Hey, because she knew everything.
Right. Wasn't
no secrets.
Wasn't no secrets.
So she knew everything up to that point. So she knew from this point on is a new book.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, might as well. Just like, well, I guess I can marry me. No, Jesus.
So when he proposed to you, were you expecting it? Were you waiting for it? Were you like 7 years in, I'll get a ring? Or what was your mindset when that came about?
I kind of knew it was coming, or that it would come.
Okay.
So I was just waiting for that moment. We kind of had talked about it before he actually proposed, and I think he proposed at what?
It was the same day.
You don't
got that gone in 60 seconds with, and we went straight to the courthouse. Let's get married. Okay.
Yeah. So the first time around, we went to the courthouse. And we just went and
got married, then went to the wing spot on Airport Boulevard for the reception. Right there in front of the pool hall. We went there.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Before that, the Boom Howl, whatever it was.
Wow, yes.
We went there and had wings at the reception. That was the reception that day.
So let's talk about this first round of marriage. Married 7 years, so you dated 7 years, you get married, and did life for you change after getting married versus as you just dating for those 7 years?
Yeah.
Yes, it changed.
And I'm gonna tell you why I asked this question, because I've known people personally who dated for years, and then they get married, and all of a sudden, they can't make it after they get married, but they done dated like the two of you 7 years, and then they get married and can't stay married 3 years. So let's talk about how did life change for you once you got married versus dating.
It kind of was the same to me. I think probably towards the end, for me, I can speak for myself personally, it was kind of like, I guess, a midlife crisis, and I felt like I had lost myself because I had got pregnant at 16, had my first child at 17. So like I went straight from high school straight to college. Just was always doing something, always involved with family. So I never had a chance to find myself and my own identity. So for me, towards kind of like the end of that, I just felt like it was supposed to be all about me. So I kind of like just said, I want to do what I want to do at this point. So that's kind of like how I felt at that moment. And I don't know how he might have took it. We got divorced. But that's
transparent.
Yeah, I just felt like like I lost myself as a person, and the midlife crisis I just wanted to do me, I felt like, and yeah, so
what
that's
about
where I was.
Oh, well, you know, first, before that last year kicked in, during the other parts, it was great because we build and we grew so much. Like literally when we got married, I was working at Blockbuster with you.
Uh-huh.
And went from Blockbuster to, she was already LPN. I left Blockbuster and got on with the railroad with CSX. While I'm getting on with CSX, then she's like, hey, I want to be an RN. Okay, well, let's go be an RN. It was like we was taking turns. We ended up getting a big house, raising kids, then boom, 30 hit and you know, egos kicked in. And it was
that's good.
Some stuff that I wasn't gonna put up with, some stuff she wasn't gonna put up with. And you know, the bickering started and we just went our separate ways. Forced, not you know, not like we was forced to go our separate ways. It was just like we just went our separate ways. Bam.
Right now.
Yeah. And it was like, even though we separated, we called each other, you know, hey, kids got to be here. All right, cool. I got them. Kids got to be there. Cool. I got them. I'm going to be gone today. I won't be back till till Thursday. Okay, cool. We still was able to co-parent and make things work for the kids where we wasn't bickering. Yeah, it would be times where we might be 2 days where, hey, we chewing each other head off in some text messages, nobody talking to each other. But hey, they got football practice. I got them. I take them today. You know, they got to. My daughter got to get the dumb ball. Hey, I'm home. I'm gonna make sure she get there or she get picked up. As long as it would involve them, it was cool. You know.
Yeah, and I think the thing about when we were going through our differences, we never put that on our kids. They actually probably never seen us argue. But you know, kids can feel the tension in a household. So yeah, we always tried to do what was best for the kids. So even when we got divorced or even when we separated, we still put our kids first. We still remain friends. We still remain cordial. We might have had our differences behind the scenes, but for the most part, we did what we had to do for our kids. So they were a big part of us, you know, remaining friends throughout the entire process of us being separated.
That is, and that shows like a level of maturity that some people
still,
yes, a lot of people, you have to keep the kids first. You can't put, you know, how you feel or your differences before your kids, because they didn't ask to come here. They didn't ask to have situations that they're not used to happen. So you have to make sure that your kids, you know, remain safe and comfortable. So
because I can even recall a time in our marriage when we were sitting down having a strong discussion of like
intense fellowship.
She said intense.
And, you know,
intense.
Going our separate ways. And I remember the boys walking in the room, and we didn't even know they could hear us because they was in the room playing, the door closed.
Well, I don't think they could. I think they just picked up the tension in the house. So they were like,
just came in the room where we were, and it was like,
hey,
the oldest one, all three of them in line.
They were in line by age.
And the oldest one says, he was like, look, I don't know what y'all got going on, but this is my family, and we ain't going nowhere.
I know, he said, they were all in agreement. Like, this is our life.
Family, this is our life, and we ain't going nowhere.
And we're not going in there. So we don't know what y'all do, but this our life.
But figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Figure it out.
This is our life.
But you made a good statement, Kim, that I want to kind of go back to when you said that you got pregnant at 16, had a baby at 17, and you spent your whole life being a mother. Then I go from being a mother, going to school, and getting married, and I never had a chance to really do me.
That's right.
What advice would you give to another woman who's watching, who's married now, and in that same position where she feel like I never had a chance to really find out how I am, find out who I am?
Yeah, I mean, it probably is overrated, but you do have to make time for self and for me. If it's only 5-10 minutes a day. Just take a moment, kind of get away, steal away, meditate, talk to God, just do what you have to do to remain sane, because being an adult, you're going to have responsibilities, so they're not going to go away. So you just have to find something that you find comfort in.
That's good.
Yeah, you just have to find something that you find comfort in doing, and do it. If it's, I mean, at one point, I God has delivered me, I hope. But shopping is my zen. Woo.
It's okay. Amazon is here for you.
Yes, if I could just buy something, I feel like I have conquered the world. So if I could just, go in the bathroom while he's not looking and purchase something, woo, that's my me time.
I have a
until they get delivered to the door. Then I'm like, why is you buying stuff? I don't know. I got a coupon. I had a coupon. It was a gift card.
I haven't bought anything in a couple of months, and that is very good for me. Have I or have I not? I have done very, very well.
It comes. You ain't seem to be delivered.
Right.
She been delivered, okay? She been delivered, not the packages. She been
right. I've been delivered.
And it's good to say that, because see, that was my story too. I was 16 when I got pregnant, and I had my first one the summer of my senior year, and went back and finished up. I mean, I was 17 by the time I had him. And so the same thing for me. When you have been a mother for over half of your life,
right?
We've been mothers over half of our life. There does come a point when you're like, okay, wait a minute. Give me a minute. Just everybody give me a minute. Okay, I'm gonna wipe out my savings today, and we're gonna pray about it tomorrow. Okay, I'm just kidding. Look, you have to take that moment and take that time to find your time. Even me myself, I have when we first got married, I stopped for a second with me, because I was like, oh, okay, well, let me help make sure he gets to where he needs to go and get pushed to where he needs to get pushed to. And now he's a pastor, and I'm like, woo, we got you there. Praise God.
Right. Look at your accomplishment.
So I get what you're saying, and you do have to do that, especially when you had kids at a young age. Right. And I do get it when you were saying your midlife crisis moment. You were like, you know what? I'm just tired. I'm TIDE. TIED, tired. Don't even put the R in there. I'm tired. I get that.
So, Mike, where were you at? Where were you?
We talking to Mike
Conzie, excuse me, Conzie.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Conzie, where were you?
Oh, you supposed to be no, you talking to Conzie or Mike?
Conzie.
Okay, then I can lean back.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Conzie, where were you mentally while she's, trying to figure out, look, I need me. I gotta step out and find me. How were you handling that when you really didn't know what was going on?
To be pretty much honest, I packed mine and I was gone.
Okay. We get it.
Cause it was like, boy, if one thing that would cause a definite reaction, like, hey, you can't put that on. You a mother, and boy, bam.
See, while I was trying to find myself, I never went to the club. While my friends was at the club and all of that, I was at home. So when I turned 30, club, let's go. I mean, let's go to the. So he like, you don't club. Why are you going out like all the time now? That's not you. And I'm like, that's me now. So I'm not worried about what you're saying. I want to do what I want to do. Right. So that's why I was saying, kind of like, I was like, I want to do me. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what happened in my situation. And like he said,
I had always been doing me, so it really didn't matter. I was wild, so.
Cousin, hey, we okay with it, cousin. We here for it. I've been delivered.
See, she got Mike now, but Conzie was a handful. So I pushed her to that limit.
So from your perspective, you're like, man, I done did me. Let me go let her do her right now. And then I check on her in the 5 years.
He said not check on her.
No, it was like we both can't be trying to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of like we were meeting up at the same place, which was kind of awkward. Like, I'm finna go out and then I see him out and I'm like, wait a minute, we ain't supposed to be out at the same place.
So when you finally decide to go ahead and call the marriage quits, the first time,
right?
And you went your separate ways. What happened to you individually in that time apart that made you say, years later, let's try it again?
Well, what happened, like I said, we always remain friends. We always remain cordial. But his oldest brother passed. And I mean, I've been knowing them, well, his family, I've been knowing them since I was 16. So when his brother passed, I got the phone call, immediately went to the hospital. So when all of us met up at the hospital, the entire family was there and they was looking at both me and him like, are y'all friends or y'all not friends at this point? Because like it was like a light switch, on and off. So it's crazy because it was like we showed up at the hospital together, and then the funeral was coming up. So he was like, you're part of the family. Like, I want you at the funeral and you're riding in the car. So I was like, okay. And at this point we were divorced. So, yeah. So that's kind of like how we reconnected. And that tragedy became triumph. So that's kind of like what sparked the rekindle.
But it was like, immediately, like once we separated, called it quits, I just kept having a loss after a loss. Like I had a good friend pass. That was like 3 weeks after. Then 3 weeks after he passed, 7 months after that, I had an uncle pass. Then I ended up having to get a pacemaker. Then my brother died of a heart attack after 7 months, pretty much about 7 months after I got my pacemaker, because I got my pacemaker November 14th. My brother passed July 13th. Then it was like, like I told her, I was like, hey, I came to the hospital. She had just got there because lo and behold, she had to come back from Atlanta that day, and she was coming to pick the kids up to take them back to Atlanta. I go, it happened. I get to the hospital. She at the hospital. Everybody looking at us like, they finna have some bickering. What's gonna happen? And it's like, hey, Kim, how you doing? Boo, boo, boo. Talk to everybody, leave. So she come back down that next weekend for the funeral. I'm like, you riding in the limo, like you part of the family too. You know what I'm saying? Like he called you his little sister, so you getting in the limo with me. And then when once it was over, it was like it was still kind of hard because she like, you can chill. It don't matter. Or you can go out. It is what it is. And it was just like, this is awkward. Everything was still kind of awkward because we literally was at each other's throat less than a week, maybe or two ago. We like bickering. You know what I'm saying? Because at this time, it's like I'm finding out that she moved to Atlanta, and I'm like, hey, you gonna take my kids too? So it's like, you ain't my friend right now. I don't want to talk. I don't want to send no smoke signals that way, no text messages, no nothing. You ain't my friend. And then it's like, she coming back in to get my kids and take them back to Atlanta. So it was like, my brother passed. They gave me another week with the kids. You know what I'm saying? But I tell folks all the time, that happened for a reason. And it created a dialogue between me and her where we started talking and then communicating. And then it's like, all right, well, I got somewhere I can go to see my kids. But everything, was working in the way that it was going to put us back together. Because once we get on the phone and start communicating, we just come together some kind of way once we start communicating. And it went from there.
And that's a great story how the Lord used that tragedy. Like I like how you put it, tragedy to really triumph in your marriage and kind of creating that dialogue.
Yeah.
What would you say you learned about yourself after your divorce that will make this time better?
Yeah.
For me personally,
because it's easy to point the finger and say he did this, she did this,
right.
but I think in every opportunity we need to see how can I be a better me?
Yeah.
Right. I felt like with Conzie, I feel like he's the I know everything. If I say it is like it is what it is. If I say it, that's what it is.
I'll tell you, a duck can pull a truck. You better hook it up.
That's what he always
You went country then.
Yeah, he always said it, and I be like, I'm not listening. Like,
you better hook it up.
Like, I'm like, you're not my daddy. Like, I'm not listening to nothing you say. Like, if your name ain't Ed Brown, like, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? But during that time, I've learned that in a marriage, you have to learn to listen to your partner because they may see or feel things that you don't. So if he's telling me, don't go out there and buy that car, and I'm like, no, I want a new truck, and he like, no, like, you don't need to buy that, and I'm like, I'm buying it. So I just had to learn to listen more instead of just always like clapping back. So I just felt during the time that we were apart that I'm a better communicator.
That's good.
And I'm a better listener. I try to listen more. Yeah, that's kind of like what I learned throughout the process.
What about you, Conzie?
Yeah, but
it might come.
I learned that Conzie was wild, so I had to turn the mic so that way she could have a better marriage. Conzie was a handful.
So
even I know Conzie was a handful.
So for those of you who are watching,
go ahead.
I've been knowing Conzie.
That was good.
Almost 20 years now. Almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
And when I met him, I met him as Conzie. And then all of a sudden, he became Mike. And
you like, who
was Mike Miller? But now I understand where the transition happened because you needed a new man.
Hey, but it's like it's like really what people can say money don't make a difference. But when we was married the first time, money made a difference. We bickered about money.
Yeah.
And we had money.
Okay.
So it's like the bickering was useless.
Yeah.
Because we sitting there, wasn't bickering about no bills, and then it's just I was blowing money to the right, she was blowing money to the left, and then it's like, okay, what we gonna do now? The bills paid, but it's like we're not accumulating nothing. We had got to a standstill. We got to where we work together, we accumulate, all right, we rent now. We started off in a townhouse, we rent a house, now we bought a house. To get to, all right, so now it's just, we don't have nothing to accumulate. So I'm buying this, she buying that. And it's like, stop shopping. No, I ain't gonna stop shopping. You stop going to the club and drinking. I ain't gonna stop doing that. So now it's like, well, the bills paid, but still we could be doing so much more. Either she's saying we could be doing more with what we got, or I'm saying we could be doing more with what we got. And it's just little tic-tac or knick-knack stuff that made us kind of just grow apart. Okay. And then now it's like, oh, we seen that blueprint, that didn't work. Okay, we're gonna start off again and we're gonna make this work. And it just started with, okay, I'm moving to Atlanta because I want to be close to my family. All right, well, come on. And then it's like we back doing the same thing, but better than we were at the end of our marriage. It's like everything just clicked, you know. So I'm glad that it worked out, you know what I'm saying, because I love my family. So that's like my bone, that's my backbone there, being with them and hanging out.
Yes, he loves his family, huh? He don't play by his family.
So it was all,
them
it was
kids, he do not play about them children at all.
Yeah. So it worked out perfect for me.
And that's apparent because even in y'all marriage the first time around when it got tough, that the kids didn't see it. He protected them.
Right.
Yes.
Both of you protected them from that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when it came time to getting married the second time around, and you moved to Atlanta and y'all back communicating and y'all back friends now. What was or was it anything that sparked in both of you or and you, Mike, that proposed the question, or how did it evolve to say let's get married again?
Ooh, good question.
No. I really don't know, man. It was something I had in the works, and I just knew, like, you just have to, you get a feeling for the person that you really love. And our friendship, when you can just sit and gossip, and you really, this the only person I can gossip to because I can't tell nobody else. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know she ain't gonna tell nobody. So it's like, in between us and God, and me, her, and God, that's the only people gonna know what's gonna come out my mouth. And she never knows what's gonna come out my mouth. I be off the chain.
Ever, I never, ever, no.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
That was funny. Love Conzie. Love Conzie. Yes, Lord. That's right. That's it. We love it. We love
it's
it.
like with us, man. Like, for instance, I went to my best friend's house, and every time I go to my best friend's house, either I'm gonna come back with a bruise. I'm getting too old for these bruises. So went down there with her one time, and I don't know what happened, but next thing I know, I came back with sand burns everywhere. I got rolled up on the beach. Go down there the second time. This time I'm by myself. I come back with 3rd-degree burns. I don't know what be going on, but
yeah,
that's the type of stuff she had to put up with, because I be, you know.
not just to one spot of his body, like arm, face. I'm like, you're not going nowhere else without me, because
not your friends, Conzie.
They're not your friends.
They're not your friends.
That's my he wasn't around. See, he had left me by myself, and boom.
He left you.
He's just clumsy, I guess. I don't know.
Then with the beach thing, she's sitting there looking at me. I don't know what happened. I think a wave might have just caught my pinky toe or something, but I just got rolled up. And it was just like, it was over. So it's like
every day is a new adventure.
I can relate to that now, because the beach tried to take me out last time I was there. I was like, no. That first time I was like, oh, that's funny. The second time it was like, okay, but the third time, this not funny anymore. I need somebody to come save me. What's happening?
Right.
I get it. I get that one. I get
so
that.
the evolution of let's do this again.
Right.
How did we get there?
How do we get there?
It wasn't hard.
It was, yeah, it really wasn't.
Because it was like
you had already moved to Atlanta when y'all decided to get married again. Because that's
right.
I'm like, well, when were they divorced?
Right.
Because I had a friend tell me, he told me when I first left, he was like, you ain't finna do nothing but waste a lot of money. And I was like, man, I'm finna be free. I'm finna be enjoying myself, man. Bump married. He's like, dog, you ain't finna do nothing but waste a lot of money. That's all you're doing, is wasting a lot of money. And at the end of the day, when you think about it, I rented an apartment. I'm paying utility bills at the apartment, doing whatever, ripping and running, trying to get the kids here and there. It just ended up being
A waste,
of money. You know, for us to end up getting back together 5 years later, we doing, you know, getting remarried and all of that, it was like a big blur. That neither one of us ever asked each other about. It was like, hey, we're gonna get back together. Let's work it out. Boom. And what happened? We never brought none of that up.
It was, that's the thing. That's the thing. Once we said we were back together, whatever happened, it happened. It was in the past. We now we may talk about different things, but I don't get upset. He doesn't get upset. You have to leave the past in the past.
Yeah.
You can't bring
what happened back into your marriage.
And that can be in any relationship. It could have been not even with the same person, just in general. Don't bring the past into a new relationship. And we don't talk about it. Like, that part of whatever happened is dead. We may joke and laugh about different things, but if I give him a look that means go to the next subject, like you need to move on. Like, I'm not gonna get upset, but you need to, keep it moving. But we do have that complete understanding, though, that it's the past, and we can't hold each other accountable for that, trying to come into a new relationship, because we will end up back where we were. So.
Yeah, that is so true, and that's a great statement to remember. And I think that's good for even people who are currently married, because if you're married 10 years or 30 years, in that time frame, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. You probably get mad at some stuff that you really don't really mean, but in the heat of the argument, I'm gonna say it because right now I want to win the argument. So even in that, it's important that we just learn to forgive in marriage, period.
That's right.
Yeah. One thing that we talk about when we do marriage counseling is that whenever you're in an argument, or we call it intense fellowship, whenever you're having an intense fellowship, that you keep the discussion relevant to what's happening right now.
Right.
Not bring up what he or she did last week or last month or last year to justify what you're doing right now.
That's right.
Like, we have to keep those intense fellowship moments relevant to what's in front of us, and not try to justify our actions for what we did or what we said based on what he or she did last week, last month, last year. And like Miss Keisha said here, she's watching us. She said, "Don't keep score."
Don't keep score. That's right.
Like, we're not keeping score.
It's 0-0.
Exactly.
That's it.
We settled it when we settled this argument. The scoreboard is even.
Right. And then another point, that if we are upset at each other, we talk about it right then. Like,
that's good. That's good.
I mean, let's hash it out right now, because I'm not gonna walk around here 2, 3, 4, 5 days not talking. In our first marriage, I will hold a grudge for 5, 10 days, and won't think nothing, won't even blink. You know what I'm saying? So I know that probably was difficult as well, but now I feel like I have grown a lot, and that if I feel a certain type of way, I'm going to tell him how I feel at that moment. And if we have an argument, why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, I see you looking at me.
You do that. You do that.
Yeah, and I'll be like, I'm like, I just tell him how I feel now, and I don't feel like the person should be afraid to express themselves. We try not to go to bed mad at each other.
That's good.
I try not to leave the house without, kissing him or telling him I love him, or vice versa, because it could easily be our last interaction. We've had numerous encounters, before we remarried, where I'll say, you know, like, why are you mad? Why are you holding grudges? I'm like, anything can happen to me. I'm on my way to work and you won't forgive me. And he be like, okay, I'm sorry.
Like I say, but see, this is the thing. I have learned she can dish it, she can't take it. So, and when she mad, she can sit there and not talk to me. But then if I don't talk to her,
yeah, I get real like upset. Like
she get all of, you know.
I get
so
real
and then yeah, yeah, you better. Hey, what? It ain't got to
when he mad, he don't cook, and I.
Oh yeah.
When he mad, he doesn't cook, and he's the cooker of the house. So he mad, I don't eat.
Oh yeah, it be starving season around here.
What we eat
like on what's that show? Winter coming. It be cold around this thing. It be winter. So I win my arguments about I'm a starvation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was all right. You gonna apologize? I ain't cooking to you.
Back what we eat.
If I don't get an apology, I ain't cooking.
Like we eating pizza. Hungry house.
No. She hates spaghetti. I'd be like, I'm cooking spaghetti at night.
Like, I don't know, like, you know, your taste buds change every 7 years, and all of a sudden, I don't like spaghetti. And if he cooks spaghetti, I'll be like,
you know, I don't like that.
You know what?
That's me.
I'm not fooling with you, Kim. I thought we were cool.
That's me. I'm like, Kim.
She be like, we were cool, Kim.
I'm like, what's for dinner? Spaghetti. Okay, I'm picking some on the way home.
He cannot stand spaghetti, but he can eat pork neck bones, but he can't stand spaghetti.
I pick up me some on the way home.
Spaghetti. Well, we eat like spaghetti.
Right, right. That mean I'm mad.
Spaghetti.
That's good.
Hey, I make the garlic bread. At least you eat the bread.
Yeah, I eat the bread.
She eat the bread.
She eat the garlic bread. That be it.
That is awesome. It's funny for me to sit here and talk to you all and hear the story and hear how in love Conzie is.
Yeah.
And look and see the soft side of you, because like I said, I met you in Blockbuster and I wasn't preaching then.
No. You had twists. You actually had twists.
I had twists. I had twins in. They hadn't gone for dreads yet.
Okay. You know.
We went out one night and I just
them old world days. And
yeah. So I know the cousin you was married to.
Yeah.
He's been delivered.
Hallelujah.
And one thing I'll add, like, because when I don't know, it's just something about being a parent at a young age, like a mom. Mm-hmm. Like how you said in the beginning, you would go like, you know, you could go for a while without saying anything and you just like, whatever. And then you hit a point where you just like, okay, wait a minute. That's that part of getting your healing and your therapy of me, my me healing and my me therapy.
Right.
And now you can't even go like a minute or two. You're like, hold up, we're going to talk about this. Let's just talk about it now. Because before, like when you're a mom at an early age, you do learn to, what's the word? You suppress a lot of stuff because you just got to keep it moving when you're a mom at a certain age. You know, because being 17, then having to graduate high school, then having to go to college and graduate college, and then having these expectations, and you're fine. Nobody's judging you for having a baby early, but it's a part of us that's still like, we still had, not judging ourselves, but just have to make sure we get it right. Right. So then it's just, you suppress stuff, you just keep moving, you keep going. But then you hit that age, like, you know, like you say now, hold up, stop. We're going to talk about this because I'm not keeping this all day. I'm not keeping this for 2 weeks. I got other stuff to think about. I got to shop, okay? Amazon calling me and I need to make sure we okay.
I need to get these purchases and I need to have a clear mind. You're distorting my shopping pleasures.
I know when she done bought something that was that spontaneous shopping, because she'll be done bought it, it'll come here and it'll sit by the door. It's not like I really want it, I can't wait to get it and I'm gonna open it up and take it upstairs. Nah, it'll sit by the door. That's that spontaneous shopping, and it take me to complain like, so why you just waste money?
I really want it.
and then she'll go open the box and put it in the closet.
Don't listen to him.
I'm not. It's not true.
Just so shameful.
No, she been delivered. I don't know about believing. She been delivered.
Yes.
Hey, she been doing good.
I don't know.
And just from talking to you all, it seems like this second time around has really proven to be, I guess I would say the mature Millers.
Yeah.
That's why it's when we got married, our hashtag was Miller Reloaded. Yeah, like Miller's 2.0. So it's a better version of us, you know, like growth, a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, a lot of just patience with each other over time, because it takes a lot of patience to deal with Conzie.
Yeah, I'm a handful.
Yes,
I know I'm a handful.
I know I'm a handful.
I know I'm a handful.
Yeah.
I go 0 to 100 real quick.
But it's not a bad quit. You know, it's just a spontaneous, like 0 to 100.
Yeah, like if we're gonna barbecue. Oh, we could have a house full.
And I be like, I may not want a house full. Or we had like,
hey, my cousin them coming over. My friend, our friend is coming over, and we finna. It's just Saturday. I don't care. Somebody, what you did. You made it home from work. We having a barbecue.
Yeah, like all he need is a reason. So I have adjusted to that. So I'm looking like, where the cousins at? They not coming over this weekend? Like,
they all didn't move.
Like I be missing that too. So it's just like, I mean, it's kind of like we're one of the same people now. I don't know.
We don't go nowhere, but it's nothing like a good barbecue.
That's it.
To get everybody together, the fellowship, talk, break bread together.
And he would be that person. He's that person. I'm that person that's like, now who coming to my house?
Oh, I invited so.
Yeah.
Do I have? Where's my blessed oil?
Where's my blessed oil?
Wait, well, you did. You doing what? Okay, wait a minute. You know they don't like me. What they? I'm just kidding. But when his family comes, the Bells, let me tell you.
Oh, tag.
They're here for it. It's a ton of them. And when I just remember when my mom passed, I remember it was such a blur because she passed at like 3 a.m. And I came home and I was just kind of like in this like daze. I didn't sleep, of course. We got home at like 6, but before I knew it, my house was like flooded with bells. I remember his cousin, but she's old enough to be his aunt because they just got them kind of families. Yeah. She came through the door. I was trying to sweep. Now my house is clean, but I'm sweeping. That's how out of it I was. And she took the broom out of my hand and she was like, "Baby, sit on down." And I sat down, and then next thing I know, Shanti coming through the door. That's our cousin. That's like, we call her Yonsei, like Beyonce.
Beyonce.
That's the family Yonsei. So she comes through the door with like this bag of groceries, and she just, I got the kitchen. So she didn't cook breakfast for like 45 people.
Huge breakfast.
So that's just his. He has a huge family, and before I realized my whole house was overflowed with bells. And I was like, thank God for them in this moment because I needed my mind to be, you know. Yeah. So that's where he gets his from. He just used to big parties and people every time. I'm just like, we not going to. If I'm ever at a party at my house and I tell you I'll be right back, all of my friends know.
She going to bed.
I'm going to sleep. I'm going.
We're like the same person. Yeah. But you want to know what? Now I tell people, I'm going to bed. Like it ain't no fun.
That used to be the story. I'll be right back.
Now, y'all, I'm tired. I'm finna go to bed.
She did that. We had some friends on one time, and she said, "I'll be right back." And they were sitting there just talking and carrying on. I said, "What's the she coming back?" I said, "Oh, she going to bed." I said, "No, that was cold. I'm going to bed. I'm talking to y'all."
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to shut the party down. I don't want to shut it down, but I'm leaving. So I'm like, y'all, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And baby, that means she's going to bed. So
it's awesome to talk to y'all. What advice would you give to a couple who may be on the verge of divorce?
Yeah.
Since having been down that road before and find yourself back together again.
Yeah.
What advice do you have someone, or even someone who may may be divorced and trying to or considering.
Yeah, and have egos that's getting in the way.
Yeah, egos getting in the way.
You guys said that about that.
They may be divorced, not have egos.
That ego will keep you separated, and it'll keep you blinded by what your heart desires. So it's like you have to take yourself out the equation, because for us, we can, even when we were separated, we can go 2 or 3, at most 3 days without at least communicating, being like, hey, what you doing? Well, all right, you try to keep it by the kids, but just our friendship kept us to where we would talk about whatever. And then, you know, it just led to us getting back together. But it's like, without communication, either if you feel like you don't want to, communicate. If you feel like you do want to, go on about your business and do what you need to do, you know. But don't sit there and play the game and play back and forth, because in your mind, you already know if you're there and if you ain't there. And the rest of it is just damaging to the rest of, if you got kids, it's damaging to them to sit there and go back and forth. Yeah. So I say, if you got love in your heart, communicate. Just start communicating. It does go both ways. It does take another person to communicate. And with marriage, you're gonna take a lot of L's, because you're gonna have to compromise a lot.
Yeah.
That's good.
But through that compromising, you always can find a way to keep uplifting your family and keep your family moving forward. Because sometimes you're not going to be able to get the truck you want. And sometimes I'm not going to be able to get the truck I want. Because it's a matter of everything that happen in due time. And what I learned being with Kim is we accumulate more when we work together than we do when we're working against each other.
That's good.
So long as we on Team Miller, we accumulate way more than when it's Team Kim, Team Conzie. When it's Team Miller, we accumulate and we reach a lot of our goals when we work together.
Also another part, even throughout my entire life, and I think his as well, I'm not thinking, God is a big part of our life. So we try to return that. We may not go to church every Sunday, but he'll say, you know, I prayed for you today, you know, and I didn't know it, you know, and I'm just saying, oh, okay, I had an awesome day today. Like, what happened? He was like, I said a prayer for you today, or I put a prayer in my Bible, you know, just for God to keep you and to guide you and lead you. So that is a big part of our marriage as well. You know, keeping God in it any way possible, you know, any way, shape, or form. So
and I have to make sure I text every morning or she'll get mad.
Oh yes, he has to text every morning, or if he doesn't text by a certain time,
she feels salty and she think, what you mad about? I'm like, I ain't mad, I was busy.
No. Like, he texts every morning like clockwork, and if I don't get it, I'm like, okay, what you got going on? Woo.
Oh, but she ain't getting that text when I'm salty. But she might get it when I'm salty. I don't know. And if I'm mad, she might not get it, but
spaghetti.
She might still get it. I still be mad.
That's it. Spaghetti and no text, baby. That's it.
I might not give her the combo. That's like a finishing move. That's a finishing move. That's like the finishing move. Don't take that.
That's one of them double dragon moves right there. That's when you.
Yeah. Hey, no text and spaghetti. That's the finishing move. You know?
That AB thrusted twice. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's too much.
But I try to refrain from the spaghetti. But she might not get that text if I'm mad, and I still come home. Always, you know, it cook. Then I know how to get back in good. If she mad at me, I just fry some shrimp, and everything all good.
Yes, I know he has forgiven me if he fries me some shrimp.
That's it.
No, it's you. I know how to make you forgive me. I probably
No, just fry him. I'm good. I'm
What's
sorry.
going on? What's going on? It's all well with some fried shrimp.
Fried shrimp.
Yeah.
Fried shrimp.
But that's what it does take. It does take learning your partner.
It
I
does
like
take
love
learning your
language.
partner, knowing what ticks them off, knowing what makes them happy, knowing what makes them sad. It's kind of like you're that person. That's what the equally yoke is. You may not always agree, but it's kind of like opposites attract, but then once you attract, it's kind of like you're one and the same. So yeah, you definitely have to learn your partner. Also, you have to compromise a whole lot.
Yeah, it's
you
a
have
whole
to
compromise in there.
a whole
A
lot.
lot.
I think he compromises more than me because I can say he does a lot, you know, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing
He spoils you. That's all.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm like, you did it. Like you did it. So you gotta
I
continue.
created this monster.
Yeah, it's like a monster almost.
Why you back with her right now?
Yeah. So it's just like you gotta learn to keep depositing into the love bank, you know. So
That's good.
look, I got that from I read a book. So it's like
It's called His Needs, Her Needs.
Yes,
it's a good
his
book
needs,
to read.
her needs.
It helped us out.
Yeah, it did help us out. You just gotta continue. You can't always take and don't give. That's just in life in general, you know, and it also includes marriage. You just can't always take from someone and not give anything back. So yeah. So that's
It worked. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Bingo.
Okay.
Bingo. High five.
He's so silly.
Yeah. You sound so educated and intelligent.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You helping some people today.
Look at Conzie.
Amen.
Amens and amens.
Mike ain't got no cousin.
Mike ain't got no guns.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank y'all for joining us today for Marriage Monday.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Look, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah.
Well,
look, these are the Millers, and they are in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Married fucking by 10 years.
10.
And 3 years, right?
Three kids and together 23 years. So it's been a journey. I mean, that's what 3/4 of our lifetime. Feel like it.
Yeah, been together since we were 16. We've been around each other since we were 16.
Since they were 16.
16.
So y'all pretty much really did grow up together.
Yeah.
I taught her how to drive.
See there?
Wow.
He taught me how to drive. He did.
I let her drive.
And took me to the driver's
take a
test.
drive test.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, took his mama car.
Drive. Go get your license.
Yes.
And it's so awesome to hear your testimony. Like, you probably didn't think even until this moment that your testimony was even at it, because that's how some people are. They're like, oh, it's just our testimony. It's not that important, but it really is. Like, you guys have been together since you were 16. I mean, you had your first baby in high school. Then you're trying to make it. You together this time. You get married. The marriage gets rocky because of egos. And then you separate, but you still talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're back together for 7 years now, right? Wait.
3.
3 years. That's right.
Married.
Yeah,
been
married 3.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, your testimony is awesome. It is such a blessing. And I know it's helping people on right now. It's awesome. It is. To put that ego aside and even to be able to say that it was egos, that we both had some issues.
Yeah. That takes humility to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And maturity, because I saw that either yesterday or this morning. I saw your picture that said Miller Reloaded.
Yeah.
And I like that because in marriage you do grow. Like I say all the time that she's not the woman I married, but she really not supposed to be the one I married.
No.
Right.
Because we all grow immature and we're not the same person that we were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
That's right.
You know, so it's important that we just really learn how to grow together. You know, the fact that you were able to be transparent and say, look, ego got in the way. I've been a mother my whole life, and I'm 30 now. I got to make up for lost time.
That's right.
I mean,
I'm going to the club too.
But I'm gonna tell this quick little story. When we went to the courthouse to get remarried, we were kind of like embarrassed because we had our divorce decree and everything. Like we did the whole nine. We had a divorce decree and everything. So we was like, excuse me, ma'am, has anybody ever came and got divorced and got remarried? And she's like, yes, girl, all the time. Like somebody that did it twice and then got divorced twice and then 3 times.
Yeah.
We was just trying to see like were we crazy for redoing it? We had to ask. The lady's like, ma'am, people do it all the time. Y'all good.
Right. That's right.
So and I tell people this all the time. You can love again. You can love the same person again.
That's good.
It doesn't stop there at the first, roadblock or whatever. If you get divorced, it can happen again. That is crazy. It's rare, but it can happen. So if you feel like you want to be with that person, don't listen to your family, don't listen to your friends, listen to your heart. Your heart will never, I feel like, lead you wrong. Your head, you get a lot of crazy things going on in your head, but your heart, never lies. So if you stay true to yourself and what you believe in, then go for it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good.
I had one family member say, she off the chains, but she was like, don't worry about what nobody say.
Oh,
if it make you happy, you do what you want to do. What make you happy? Woo! I was like, I got you, cuz I got you. But I was like, I got you, baby. We ain't worried about it. None of these folk down here. You just do what make you happy, cuz. I was like, I got you, cuz. Hey, but it's just some people gonna be for it, some people gonna be against it, but you still gotta follow your heart and make it do what it do.
And I like how both of you said that, because kind of talk about like this, the idea of getting married and what others are gonna think, even going to the courthouse, because the couple that we had last week,
that's right,
they were talking about when they had their hard time in their marriage, and I think Miss Keisha, the wife, said that I had to just put everybody else out, like I had to put what they thought, what they wanted, just block them all out, and I decide if I want to be with my husband or not.
That's right.
And
right.
When it comes to even saying, okay, after being divorced 5 years, I don't care what it look like at the courthouse or my family got to say, we're gonna still get married again.
Yeah.
You got to just kind of turn everybody.
And the second time around, it's like it was a party. Like we had a full blown out. It was like a celebration. So
I got to have fun one last time.
Yes, he got to have fun.
Yeah, and I'm gonna share some after this video. I'm gonna share some pictures from y'all second wedding on our Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Miller's Reloaded.
Yeah.
I like that 2.0 upgrade.
That's it.
Yeah, we upgraded. She upgraded me. She upgraded me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once for joining us.
Yes,
if you have any, I know you've already kind of said like 2 or 3 parting words, but anything else you want to throw in there before we close out?
Patience.
Patience. Okay.
You got to have it. You got to keep it, and it need to be with you at all times. Handful.
Handful.
On with this.
T.
You know what, Mike?
Thank you.
I got you, Kim. I got you, Kim. Conzie, she might be a handful, but you said I do twice to that same one.
It's on you now.
Wait. Here go the
Cause
best
I'm
part.
crazy. That's why I did it.
Here go the best part. They've been together since they was 16. He probably created it.
That's true.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Bell.
Can argue with that one. Can argue with that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that one ride. Patience. Yeah. I appreciate y'all having us.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. We have enjoyed you guys tonight. We have. Yes, we have.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna say a prayer right quick for all those who are watching us and those who
Yes.
are watching later. And then after we pray, then we're gonna end our live.
All right, then.
We thank you today, Lord God, for this
Yes,
awesome
Lord.
time of sharing. We thank you just for the
Yes, Lord.
testimony
Yes, Lord.
of the Millers, God, to really see themselves in that marriage, Lord God, and
Yes,
say, you know
Jesus.
what, we're gonna try this again.
Yes, God. Yes,
And God, for those couples who are watching now, Lord God, who may be at crossroads in their marriage, God, where they're having challenging times and even contemplating divorce, we pray right now, God, that as the Millers have shared today, the egos got in the way at that first time around. We pray, God, that if people are struggling in their marriage, God, that we will put our egos to the side, put our pride to the side, Lord God, and just really seek you in our marriage, seek you, Lord God, for continued guidance and direction, God. That what you have joined together, that no man or our egos put asunder, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
You thank you for the transparency of the Millers today, Lord God. And
Yes, Jesus.
we pray for those who are watching now, God, that you will give comfort and give strength and give encouragement
Yes,
to their homes, to their marriages. God, that your desire is that their marriage prosper.
Yes,
You God, if there's anything that's hindering that marriage from prospering, God, that you will remove every challenge,
yes,
every obstacle, God, every hindrance, Lord,
yes,
that you can get the glory from that marriage. You pray right now, God, for the Millers. Continue to richly bless their home, bless their children, God, as they continue to raise their children to be great men and women of God. And we thank you that your Holy Spirit continue to rest and lead and guide both of them, Lord God. That their marriage continues to be fruitful and give you glory.
Yes.
We pray this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Appreciate it.
A big congratulations to your graduate from Alabama State University.
Yeah.
Your oldest daughter graduated this weekend, so congratulations to her.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Facebook and YouTube.
Two more.
Yes. Before we go, Kim, don't you distribute some kind of tea or something? Don't you sell tea or something?
I sell tea.
Go ahead. Put your plug in right now.
Oh, okay, I get a plug. Okay.
Girl.
Okay. So I do sell TLC products, ISO Tea, NutriBurst, NRG. Those are like my 3 top products. I also yesterday I posted that I will be launching my boutique. It's called Peachy Mod Boutique.
Yay.
It will be launched this week, so be on the lookout for both. Yeah.
Right.
So,
when she posted and launch all that, we're gonna make sure we share on our page so we can make sure those who are watching get a chance to see you.
Yeah.
thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Facebook, YouTube, thanks for joining us. Look, catch us next Monday right here, same place, Marriage Monday with the Bells.
Yes.
God bless you. Have a great one.
All right,
you too.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.